Right, so Ivy Ice Lakes, 2nd of May. It's warmed up slightly since I've done my last video over on peg 17. So I'm still going to fish quite similar. I'm still going to fish short with hard pellets at the start, but I'm going to do it a little bit shorter. I'm literally going to do it on a short kit in front of my nets. And then I've swapped my shallow bait from maggots to casters. I haven't got as many casters as I would like, so I reckon at some point I'm going to run out, but hopefully if I can catch enough weight on what I've got, then it'll still be all right. I can come back to pellets. I can go in the edge of ground bait if I run out of casters with like an hour and a bit to go. It's not too much of a problem. But yeah, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to start short, really short, like on a top short kit straight in front of my nets on hard pellets, just see if I can catch a couple of fish. And then I'm going to feed 2 shallow lines, exactly the same as I did on my my last video. And then when I'm catching short on pellets, if I get some indication shallow long, or if I get some indication shallow in the edge, then I'll choose which line to go on to next. And like I said, I have got a ground bait line to my right with some dead maggots, but I don't know if I'm going to need to go on that. I think it's going to be a good shallow day today. It's absolutely flat calm. I've got a little bit of a ripple starting to come up, so hopefully it won't be too bad. I coached here yesterday and it was absolutely solid shallow, but it was 20 degrees, the sun was out, and we are pleasure fishing, so anything can happen. I've drawn peg 13, which isn't the greatest of peg. It's like in this corner, but because it's not the greatest of peg, what Andy's been really clever, what he's done, he's just given me a little bit of extra room. So instead of having 1 spare peg, I've got 2 spare pegs to the next angler. So in the not such good areas, you've got a little bit more room, and then in the really good areas, 9, 10, 11, 4, 20, around there, you haven't got quite as much room. So hopefully that'll level it out a little bit, and yeah, I can do enough. But the rules have changed at Ivy Ice this week. Now you can use overshotted rigs and jiggers. So I've set them all up. I've set all my overshotted rigs up, all my jiggers up. So I'm still going to start like normal on a shotted rig, holding the line tight like I always do. But at some point, if the fishing gets good, I'm just going to try my overshotted rig. It could be ridiculous if it does work. But normally these are conditions where normal shotted rigs are best. So I'll let you know and find out. Right, so we've got about a minute till the match starts. I haven't changed my mind. I'm still going to stick with my original plan. I'm just going to start on a top kit with pellets. I'm going to throw some casters. I might throw a little ball of ground bait in the edge. Just start short. There we go, all in. And just see if we get any indications early on casters. The wind's nice for chucking casters as well today, so just going to start mega short. So we're just plumbed up there. It's about 3 and a bit foot there. Don't want to go any further than that because it gets a bit deep. I still think the fish might come up off the bottom. Little indication straight away then. Bite straight away. These fish have come straight to those pellets. The noise of those pellets coming in, getting indications. It might be a case of just nicking 4 or 5 fish here quickly if I can, and then going shallow. Fish being caught straight away. Guy to my right's got one. Keep a few casters going in on both lines. There we go. That's a good sign. Real decent F1. One thing I will say, it's easy on venues like this to get really carried away at the start. When you feel like there's a decent weight on the card. You just want to get in and catch as many fish as possible, as quick as you can, but just be nice and calm. Don't worry. You've got a long match. If you make no mistakes, you're going to catch a big weight. Just tap those pellets in again. If I get as many indications as last time, I might throw a few rather than potting them. Okay, another one. Just a small one, that. Already I can tell straight away this is going to be a decent match today. Everybody's gone in looking fish. So, I'm just going to throw some pellets there instead of cupping them, because cupping them is quite slow. Just feeding 4 mils, fishery 4 mils with a 6 mil on the hook. Just going to feed twice. One. Nice little bite that, no missed indications that time when I threw it. It's a carp that time. See, this is why I wanted to start short and not go, it's very tempting just to go straight in shallow, but I haven't seen any swirls yet shallow where I've been feeding my casters, so I might not have gone in and caught straight away. And like you can see, this is alright. I've gone in, caught a decent F1, a little carp, a decent carp. And what you're doing, the whole time you're doing this, you're priming your shallow lines. So, fingers crossed when you go on them, they'll be good. It's quite difficult to feed two shallow lines like this with casters, so what I want to do at some point today is make my mind up on which is best and then stick to that. Plus, I haven't got that many casters with me, so I don't want to keep feeding both shallow lines all day. I'm just going to run out of bait if I do that. I was just about to feed another one, and then just shows that I don't need it yet. I haven't had any swirls on my casters. That's a great big F1. That's the ones we want shallow. If you can start catching them shallow, they're like 2.5 pound. What we'll do, I'll click that one at 3, just to be safe. Definitely fewer indications when I throw pellets there, but just a few more better bites. One great little tip as well, I've left my line between my pole tip and my float quite long. I've left it about 16 inches with 2 back shot, because when you're holding it like this and you're feeding your casters, you don't want to be twitching your float whilst you're feeding your casters. Guy to my right's catching quite well. He started really short, just like me on the top kit. So looking at things, I've probably started right, because I've not had any swirls. Not had any swirls on my shallow lines yet. Don't mean that they're not there, just might mean that they're not coming up quite shallow enough just yet. A few more indications that time short. Those fish that time, definitely on that feed, come up off the bottom. So that's a real good sign. Go side of it. That's the boys you want. They're like £2 then. That's a good sign that maybe not just yet, but definitely at some point they're going to come shallow. I'll be amazed if they don't at some point. Oh, I forgot to click that one. I'm really glad I started like this now, to be honest. Feels a bit foul at that one. See if we can, oh no, might not be. Bit of a lunatic. But even though I'm catching well short like this, it'd be really, really easy just to forget to keep feeding casters. Fish had a little swirl right by my float there, even that close to me. So it just shows there are some fish up off the bottom already. Quite surprised I've not had any indications on my shallow lines, to be honest. Everybody's catching. I'm really glad I started like this now. Because I was going to go all out, start shallow, and try and end the match shallow. But I don't know if it's quite warm enough to do that yet. So what I'll do, I'll catch a couple more for you like this. So I'm just fishing with 4mm, 6mm on the hook. Really short. Catch a couple more, I'll stop filming. And then I will then start filming again when, or if my shallow lines come good. Guy to my right's catching really well, fishing short, just a top kit. But looking around at everybody else, or what I have looked at, there's not loads. Oh, see, that's why you shouldn't look around. Just felt it on the pole tip because I wasn't watching. Oh, there you go. There you go. Out long there, that's the first swirl I've seen on them. That's a really good sign. Just shows they're coming to those casters. Bit of a funny chuck this one on pellets. I did miss a bite though, to be fair, when I was looking at my casters. Oh, that was a proper bite. Right, so I've seen 2 swirls on my casters out there now. And this is going a little bit funny. It's a dodgy chuck. I'm getting lots of indications and no proper bites. Might be just a sign that fishing in too deep a water, they want to be on those casters now. Or see, every single time I feed now with these pellets, floats like getting indications straight away, so all the fish are starting to come up, I think. Can't see me being on this much longer. I think shallow's probably going to be worth a go. It's just missed bites now on that line, on this line. Every time I throw some pellets now, it's just floats just constantly going under, showing that the fish are coming up to the noise. Right, what I'll do, I'll end it there. I'll just try and catch a couple more fish on pellets, but I've got a good feeling that it ain't going to be long and I'm going to be on the shallow line. Yeah, there's another swirl there on my casters. Right, what I'll do, have one last feed with just a pot and sneak them in. Keep it a little bit more accurate, and then if this doesn't work now, I will be out on my casters, just trying to work out what rig's best. Is overshotting going to be good? Is a normal rig going to be good? Right, no, I'm going to end it there. That's not good now, that. It's going in, just getting a miss bite every single chuck. So, and I'm getting swirls on my casters, so I'm going to go out and I'm going to have a look. I'll just have 20 minutes fishing out there. 20 minutes fishing out there, and then I'll work out what's going on, and then I'll let you know. Right, so we've had a decent start on pellets. I think I caught 6 fish there, and then it all went a bit funny. Started missing bites, and then I saw a couple of swirls on my shallow line. So I've decided to go out and have a look, and I've caught £20 really quickly on an overshotted rig, a 12-inch overshotted rig. I've got to be honest though, I don't feel like the fish are really feeding that much today. Not yet anyway, because I'm feeding and I'm hardly getting any swirls. I'm not really getting massive indications of fish in my peg. I'm still catching, but normally when you catch the weight shallow here, what tends to happen is that you feed your casters and they come up right in your casters, and you can virtually see them. So I don't know if a big weight's on the card today. I'm not sure. We're about 45 minutes in, I believe, and I've got £35, so we're doing all right, we're ticking away. I haven't gone on my normal shallow rig yet, which I think will be good, because I just want to try these overshotted rigs out, because obviously they've only started being allowed this week, so I thought they could be really good because the fish have never seen them. But and they're all right at the moment, but I think a normal shotted float could be very good as well. I'm not going in and hooking them straight away. It's taken me a little while to hook one, so a normal shotted float like 12, 14, 16 inches deep could be really good as well today. Just flicking it over. It's not bad at the moment. I'm just going to keep ticking away. I think at this rate I'm probably on £50 the first hour. So what's that? That's three. If I catch for 6 hours like that, that's £300. And we had a bit of a dodgy spell on pallet between going from pellets to shallow. So yeah, I'm on for a decent weight. So the process, what I'm doing, I'm going out, turning the little overshotted rig over in my peg like 3 or 4 times. Like 1, 2, 3. Just lower that tip down into the water, probably 4 or 5 inches. Feed a decent amount of bait, as accurate as possible, and then just start flicking your pole tip, creating a bit of noise on the surface of the water. See, on the days when you catch the big weights, I 100% would have hooked one by, oh, saying that, just hooked one. And then once I've hooked one, I'm feeding. A decent fish though, they're definitely bigger than last year. Trying my best to click as accurate as possible. Caster still left on the hook that time, which is handy. I'm going to go out. This time I'm not going to flick my rig over, I'm just going to lower it in the water because I've not had a bite yet from spinning the rig over, so I don't see the point in doing it. I'm just going to lower my tip in the water. I'm going to feed some casters and I'm going to start flicking. But I am still feeding that edge line. See, I'm looking around a bit as well, and there's some good anglers here today. Glenn Picton's up there, Neil Richardson's over there, and I've got to be honest, no one's really bagging. I must be doing alright with £40 after 50 minutes, but I'm not getting bites that quickly. See, that this chuck, normally you would have had one by now. I reckon a little shotted rig could be really good today. So it is consistent though. God, it'd be lovely if they all fought like that. Just literally swam in. Caster's still on there. This landing net's brilliant for it, that MVR hair mesh net. Because you never ever get your band go into the mesh, so it never pulls your caster off. So you can catch sometimes 4 or 5 fish on the same caster, which obviously speeds you up quite a bit. There we go, that was a bit better. See that pace there, see how quickly I caught that one? If you're going to catch like £400, that's the pace you need to be hooking them at. And that's the size of them you need to be catching, that's £2. They're definitely scrapping in here now. Oh, look at that, that is unbelievable. That is the pace we want though, that one then. Tell you what I've done then, actually thinking about it. When I went out, I span my rig over just once. I might make it the right amount of noise. Just spin it over once, drop that tip down, feed a few casters, start flicking. There we go, that's better. Just spin it. Just spinning it one round once. And then just lowering it in. You're not making too much noise. See, those last two chucks, I don't think you will ever catch as quick as that on a normal rig, because you're always going to miss an odd bite. That's the boys you want, this one. Right, that's one net done. Spin round my clicker, get him on naught again. Lower that tip in, there we go. See, that's loads better, that's unbelievable. Just by changing the amount of times you spin it over and then the speed that you lower the tip in, that's so much better. It's unreal, that, isn't it? See, that's what the thing that annoys me a little bit. You get these people say, oh, it's just overshotting, there's no skill, it's all just drop it in and wait for your last to come out. Yeah, you are right, to a certain extent. Oh shit, drop that in there, another net, I was chatting. But you still got to do little things dead right. End of the day, if Andy Bennett or someone like that, Christian was there, Paul, you still wouldn't beat him at this, would you? So. But it is lovely fishing there. I really love it. I love it there. Size of the fish, look at the lake. Oh, just felt one then. That might be a sign they've come up a little bit shallower. If you're feeling them and not hooking them, you might just be like pricking them on the way up. Beautiful. Oh, lovely one, that. Beauty. Come on, boy. They're so hard to click, these fish, because they're in between. Most of them are like £1.50, so you can't click 1.5. So maybe that's a product idea. Be able to click 1.5. So on some of them I click 1, some of them I click 2. Right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to end it there. You've just seen obviously an overshotted rig working at his full force. What I'll do, as soon as this goes a little bit funny and I'm fishing my normal shotted rig, I'll start recording again and I'll talk you through that process as well. But mint day so far, up to like £50 now, so yeah, it's all good. Right, so it's 1 o'clock, so 2.5 hours gone. I'm still on the shallow line, but I've got to be honest, everything I'm doing just doesn't seem right. I had a decent run with that overshotted rig, and to be fair, that's probably been the best. 16 to 20 inch overshotted rig. I thought a normal shotted rig would be good today because of the flat conditions. And I've gone on my normal shotted rig and it's been absolutely terrible. I've literally caught hardly anything. It hardly had a bite on it. For some reason, just a normal, an overshotted rig, flicking the surface with your tip seems loads better today. But it's a bit frustrating. I feel like there's fish here, but I'm not doing something right. The guy up to my left on about peg 17, he's probably catching a bit better than me, but he's fishing a jigger, so I've just tried it and I've caught 5 or 6 real quick, but this doesn't seem right either. The fish just keep coming and going. It's weird. Like I fed my edge shallow line, literally hardly had a bite there. So it's a bit of a frustrating day at the moment. I'm still doing alright. I've got, what have I got? 128 on my clicker. So I'm still catching, like, don't get me wrong, but it's just a little bit frustrating. The guy up to my left seems to be doing it dead right, and he's catching really well. The only thing he's doing different to me, he's probably fishing another 2 sections further out, and he's using a catapult. So what I'm going to do, because I'm still catching okay at the moment, what I'm going to do, if this goes funny, like within the next probably like 20 minutes, I'm going to have to put a section or maybe a section and a half on and start again and just see if the fish feel more confident at that distance shallow, because obviously I'm feeding in the edge shallow and I've not had a bite, so that would indicate to me that the fish don't want to come close to you when they're coming in shallow. I mean, it is absolutely flat calm today, so I'm sure if there was some ripple you would catch them close, but it's a bit of a weird day at the moment. Everybody's saying the same thing, I feel like, there, except for this guy up to my left. Right, I'll just talk you through this jigger. So I've got like a number 3 jig on, bulk at the top of the hook length, hair rigged caster. I've set the stop at 20 inches. So all I'm doing is going out on this, holding the jigger like 6 inches deep, feeding my casters as neat as possible, and then lowering it quite slow, down onto the stop, and then just flick the rig up probably 10 inches. Flick, lower, flick, lower, flick, lower, just like that, and just get into a nice rhythm. So I mean, see, I caught those 2, and then you go back out and you expect to get one and nothing. I think personally I'm going to have to put another section or section and a half on and start again, and I reckon the fish might just sit in your peg a little bit more comfortable then. Yeah, see, where I'm feeding those casters, I'm getting fizzing on the bottom. There's another one. which indicates to me that they're following the bait right down to the bottom. Which is weird. That never happens on here. Never get that. It's a decent one, I think. Little carp, little 2-pounder. So I'm on the jigger now. I've caught on the overshotted. You've seen the overshotted. Normal shotted rig's been absolutely terrible for some reason. I don't understand why. But I'm still catching okay. What have I got? I've got 131 now. But it's definitely going to be no records broke today, venue records, unless someone's sacking over the other side. But I can't see it with these conditions. It's not quite warm enough yet. But what I'm going to do, I'll probably catch 1 or 2 more on this, then I'm going to pop that overshotted rig back on and just see if it's quicker. Because this is okay, but I just feel like an overshotted rig might be a bit better. And what I'm going to do as well, I'm going to put an extra section on. I don't know, still, that's what I mean, see, it's still decent, isn't it? So frustrating to know. Like, am I doing it quick enough? Am I not? Will it be better if I go longer? What rig's best? So frustrating. That's a decent one. Might just stick with it for a minute. I would imagine. I would imagine as the day goes on, the fish will want to come closer. So I would have thought this line would get stronger where I'm fishing. But who knows? I think that's 4 since I've started filming, so that ain't a bad rate at all. So just lower, 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 lower. And flick, lower and flick. I'm still going to keep feeding a few casters in there, because you never know, late they might start swirling in there. Yeah, I think though, what I'm going to have to do is have a go on this overshotted rig, and then I'm going to have a go fishing a little bit longer section and a bit past where I'm fishing now and start feeding the catapult. Because it's too sporadical. You catch 3 or 4 and then all of a sudden you drop in and it's like there's not a fish in your peg. Just want to try and get them into a situation where it's a little bit more steady. Right, so that's the jigger for you. So you've had a look at an overshotted rig. That's the jigger. What I'll do, I'll keep fishing for a bit with this, and then I'll start filming again in a minute when I probably have to go a little bit longer, maybe put a section or 2 on and start again. But it's going alright. I'm catching, but not catching as quick as that guy down there, I don't feel. Alright, so we've got a couple hours to go. So since I last spoke to you, I've changed a couple of things. I put those extra sections on. I've put 1.5 sections on and started fishing again. And I've got to be honest, it's been loads better. It's just It's not as quick at time, obviously, because you've got to ship in, I've got to use a catapult, but it just feels a lot more consistent. When I was catching shorter out of my hand, you go in, you catch 2 or 3 really quickly, and then you can't get a bite. Out here, it's just been like, wow, since I've gone out there, I think I haven't come back without a fish on. I'd say that now and put it on there. There you go. Best rig by a mile has been a 20-inch overshotted rig. That's been best by an absolute country mile. I don't understand it today. I don't know if it's because these fish haven't been fished for before with an overshotted rig, but it's just best. Like, I've put my normal rigs on thinking I'll catch a few on the drop, fish past them and that, and it's just been a waste of time. Overshotted rigs have been amazing today, but you've got to expect it on a lake where they've never seen overshotted rigs before. You've got to expect them to be good. I suppose I would imagine after a few months or a year of people coming in fishing with overshotted rigs, a normal rig would be good again, you know, or maybe a jigger. I tried the jigger again. I did catch a couple, but this overshotted rig seems to be the boy today. Exactly the same process as before. Ship out, feed some bait, lower that tip in. I've got a few ducks in my peg at the moment, but I don't think that's too much of a problem at all. I really don't think the fish mind those ducks being in your peg. It creates a bit of ripple, and see, it creates a bit of ripple them being in your peg, and I think it like sort of disorientates the fish a little bit, so they can't see exactly quite what's going on the way they could if they weren't in my peg. Oh, what happened there? Didn't feel quite right, that. Might have been foul at that. Might have just been in the wing or something like that. But there's definitely some fish in my peg out there though. Guy to my left still catching well. I think Glenn Picton's catching well at the other end as well, so it's going to be a tight match, but I'm a lot happier now I'm fishing at this distance, because I just feel like it's a bit more consistent. When I was getting a bit frustrated fishing shorter, because I was going and catch a couple and then all of a sudden nothing, and it's a bit frustrating when you feel like you're doing it right, just couldn't catch consistent enough. But that was just down to fishing the wrong distance. I tried to catch them out my hand, which is fine. You've got to try and do these things, because if you can catch them out your hand, you're going to catch a big weight. These fish are ever so difficult to click, right, because most of them are like £1.5 pounds. So you click some at 1, some at 2, but it's ever so difficult to get it dead right. But yeah, that's how it's going so far. I think I've got a couple hours left. I mean, I'm still throwing some casters down my edge because I think I'm going to have enough. But I don't know, if they wouldn't come properly at like 9 metres, I just can't see them coming in down there properly at all. It's lovely out there now, so nice out there. It's just really consistent. Big pouch full as soon as you hook one. Try and get as many fish back in your peg as possible. Ooh, that's a great big one. That is beautiful. Yes, he's in. That's the ones you want. If every single one was like that, God, you catch a weight. Unfortunately, you do catch an odd pounder. I really don't mind these ducks in my peg, especially when you're fishing an overshotted rig. You're not going to hook them. I just think they bring fish into your peg. I hope I hope this mic and everything's working properly, because this is going to be a mint day to watch back, and hopefully you guys are going to learn a bit from it. Not saying I'm doing it dead right, but hopefully it'll catch you odd fish more. That is beautiful out there now. It's just really, really consistent. These F1s have moved in now. I've been catching a lot of carp earlier, but these F1s have moved in, which is nice to see. Makes a nice change. Oh, one straight away then. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to leave the camera going a bit and not talk too much, because it's a lovely bit of fishing at the moment, catching shadow like this. These F1s are mint fish, especially if those like 2-pounders keep coming. Got a few sticks in the edge here now. That's a little carp fighting like that. Yeah, little carp. You can tell straight away where they fight. That was an F1, that would have popped straight up. What are we up to now? 160, 180 now. So I think we've got a couple hours left, so maybe 250 could be on the card. I don't think 300 is going to be quite achievable. Mind, they keep coming like that then. Some twigs in my peg now. It's going to be awkward shipping out that. Really important to try and get your casters going in as accurate as possible. If you can condense those fish in your peg shallow, you're just going to catch a lot quicker. Another little carp. Beauty one he is. Starting to think maybe now it's getting to this time of day and the fishing's got this good, at some point I might catch a bit shallower. I'm a 20-inch overshotted rig at the moment. It's weird cast. Oh, mowing that one off. Didn't quite get my feeding right then. Those ducks were putting me off a little bit. It's just gone a bit funny now. It's ever so weird that, isn't it? Oh, aimed him on again. You can see what I mean when I said it's just consistent. At times you go in and you feel like you're not catching, but you eventually do get one out there. It's very consistent. Right, what I'll do, I'll catch one more. I'll stop filming. And then I can't see me doing a lot different to the end of the match now. You've obviously seen just how good this line is now. If I do something different before the end of the match, I'll switch the camera on again and show you. But fingers crossed, if this carries on to the end, and have a real decent weight. Like probably, what's on the cards here now? 250, I would have said. 250's got to be on the cards, I would have thought. I still think the guy to my left probably beating me. He's catching just as quick as I am now, but I think if the fish he's catching are a little bit bigger as well. You never know. I always think everybody's catching more than me. It doesn't really matter anyway. I'm having an absolutely mint day, so I'm not going to let him beating me ruin my day. So yeah, if anything changes, I'll... Right, so there it is, all done. Just weighed in. I've ended up with 257, which has been a brilliant day's fishing. A bit gutted really. I should have started at like 11.5 meters and tried to bring them in. I've tried to fish short and then I've had to stop and start again longer. When I went longer, basically I've hooked on every single chuck. It's been brilliant. I think I would have caught £300 if I would have just fished, long all day. But you live and learn. The next couple of weeks, as soon as it goes like 6, 7, 8 degrees warmer, I think everybody's going to start catching shallow short, and then that's when you're going to catch your 350s, your 400s. Like last year I drew that peg and caught 357, which is a match record, and I caught literally on a top 4 in the edge shallow. So I think 8 or 9 degrees warmer and then a massive weights on the card with those overshotted rigs. It's been so good today. A normal rig today was just a complete and utter waste of time. I don't know why. You just had less bites and you just missed loads. I don't get it. You would have thought today would have been a perfect situation for it, but these fish have never seen an overshotted rig where you can just flick the water with your tip and create a bit of ripple, bit of noise, and everyone pulls the elastic out. It's lovely. I haven't had a bigger stamp of fish. I watched everyone weigh in, and certain people at the other end have had a lot bigger stamp of fish. So if I could get up there, that other end of the lake, bit of ripple, bit warmer. If I've caught 257 today, I'm sure £400 on the cards, without a doubt. So, but yeah, awesome days fishing. Favourite lake in the country. Probably had 50-50 carp and F1s. Yeah, it's been absolutely awesome. So hopefully it'll all come out all right, what I filmed today. So yeah, thanks for watching.